Welcome to another Auto Express track battle, and it's one that on paper at least promises to be super close. Both these cars have 316 brake horsepower and 450 newton meters of torque. So which one's going to come out on top on track? I don't know, and there's only one way to find out. Okay, so let's start off with the new BMW 135i. This is sort of the whole reason we're doing this track battle, really, is to test this new BMW. And, well, it's pretty amazing. I drove up here last night in this car, and on the road it's just unbelievably comfortable for a performance car, for a performance BMW, but it's just this engine that's the star of the show. So, as we said earlier on, it's got 450 newton meters and torque, but it's the fact that it delivers maximum torque at just 1,250 RPM, which is just incredible. So it's got instant power on tap, and yet it revs really quickly, all the way up to 7,000 RPM. Sounds fantastic, silky smooth, as you'd expect from a BMW straight six, but just so fast to rev and so much power on tap. Now we've got the optional double clutch gearbox, which is really great as well. Really fast shifts, really suits the car actually. You imagine that enthusiast car, you'd want to go for the manual. I'm not actually sure now, I haven't driven this with the double clutch gearbox. It's pretty cool. Now I'm going to come and start a lap, but first of all, obviously the car's rear-wheel drive, so it does mean there's that much power on tap. You can get quite silly with the car if you want to. So we've got a bit of silliness, but we'll try and do a nice smooth lap now. So come around to start the lap. A little bit of a slide as we come out the last corner. So the 8 speeds on this gearbox, so it's very short gearing, so you don't really need to use second gear. So just in third through here, and again, because that torque's up there on offer straight away, you don't really need to use the lower gears. Hard on the power, lovely crisp noise on the upshift, 7,000 RPM on the shift, fifth gear, 110 miles an hour, braking hard down to this really tight chicane. Again, I'm going to stay in third, not use second. Into the throttle, hasn't got a particularly clever diff, so but it doesn't spin up the unloaded wheel. It's pretty good mechanical traction wise. Third gear into here, onto the power. Now I'm driving it quite smoothly, so I'm not making the car slide around. So you can make it slide around if you want to. Balance the throttle, long corner. Now there's a little bit of roll in the car, so basically the car leans over, but it takes a set and stays like that, doesn't get too unstable. So this high-speed S's, really good on the way in. A little bit of understeer on the exit, but it's very controlled, because given that we're doing nearly 100 miles an hour through there. Down to third gear, down to second. And again, to be honest, I didn't really need to use second there. Third would have been fine. Cross the line. Behind this corner. Just really good car. Okay, so let's see how the Subaru compares. It couldn't be more different from the BMW, obviously four-wheel drive. Again, here when you feel like you've jumped back 20 years in terms of the interior quality compared to the BMW. Everything feels quite agricultural. We've got that unique boxer sound from the engine. But let's just see how it compares to the BMW on track. Now the BMW was amazing, really. It's not at its best as a 10/10 track car. It's a really well sorted, fast road car, and it's excellent on track. Now, so the question is the Subaru just that little bit harder edge, and is that going to give it a faster lap time and help it on track? So we'll do a lap, and we'll come around and start the first flying lap. The first thing you notice with the Subaru is that peak torque in this is much higher, so it's at 1,250 in the BMW, which is astonishing. It's over 3,000 in the Subaru before you get to peak torque, so you have to work it a little bit harder, but once it's up there and the engine's working, then it still feels pretty rapid. It's only 50 kilograms heavier than the BMW, despite having to carry all the four-wheel drive gubbins. Steering's very light, so there's not a great sense of steering feel. It takes a little while to get into driving a compressor engine. You haven't driven one for a while. It's got that sort of confidence that the grip's there, because you can't really feel it, but it's obviously traction's amazing. It's not so good through this high-speed right-left as the BMW, so it's a bit lighter. It's not as much high-speed grip for this. It doesn't change direction as well as the BMW, but not bad on the brakes. See, manual gearbox, quite slightly sticky shift, but nothing too bad. Okay, we'll come and start the flying lap. So there, you know, there's so much traction there out those slower corners. Now that's good advantage over the BMW. The limiter in third there. Pretty good through these tight technical sections. Just a little bit of understeer. And again here, traction's good. BMW obviously having to work a little bit there to at the steering because you haven't got quite got the traction you've got in the four-wheel drive Subaru. So the braking out for the again around about 110 on the speedo, so that's quite similar to the BMW. Really good traction on the exit there. Gear change lights flickering away. Up to fourth. Third gear. Carry the speed in. A lot more weight transfer in the Subaru, so you can hear the tyres squealing a bit more, but it's still, you can just carry speed. It's got the confidence and carry that speed. Traction's really good out of there. Fourth gear, and this is where it's hard work in the Subaru. Look at this high speed S's. Bit of oversteer, a bit of correction in the middle, trying to keep the momentum up. Hard braking, down the third gear, down the second, a little bit of trail braking on the way in. Third gear on the exit. The Subaru crossed the line in 1 minute 16 seconds, which means it was almost 2 seconds slower than the BMW. So not only is the M135i a better road car than the Impreza, it's also a better track car.